Transmissions jammed. Proximity coverage only.
Hey guys, Jacob here. This is going to be a video on the Phase 2 for the TU10 PTS. As you guys know, the PTS has been going on for a little while now, not too long, but this is going to be the second wave, and I'm going to go through you guys so you can see what's changed. First, they want feedback on new gear, exotic balance, weapon damage, overall balance, and loot generosity. That's going to be the feedback they want topics on in particular. Gear, attributes, incoming repairs no longer increase the amount of armor repaired by armor kits, talents, or gear set effects. Sidearms, if you guys are curious what sidearms are being buffed and nerfed, you guys can see the damage increase for most of them in the 1911 and the M45A1 got a damage decrease. Same goes for the tactical 1911. Now to the exotics. The Bighorn got a damage increase by 11.2%. Add functionality that provides additional headshot damage. Full talent is now. When scope switches to semi-automatic fire mode, dealing 450% weapon damage to each shot. And new, headshot grants 1% headshot damage, stacking up to 50 times, resets to 0 at full stacks. So, overall, I like the Bighorn. I just don't use it due to the magazine size, and you guys know I'm a bit of a PvP player, and I'm mostly in the DZ, and using this thing in the DZ is a bit of a nightmare unless you're using it as a secondary and you have something else with 50 or 60 rounds in it as a primary, and it's gotten me killed multiple times trying to use this thing, but overall, I'm really happy they did add something to this, because in PvE, I might use this weapon a little bit more. Now the fact they added a headshot bonus that grants headshot damage. Now the Eagle Bear, which is my main go-to assault rifle, as you guys know, and it's my favorite exotic if you guys have been around for a while. Damage increased by 7.8%, which is really nice. Next is going to be the Chameleon. Damage increased by 32.8%, and this makes me very happy because, as most people know, I don't really use the Chameleon. I don't really care for it much. It's a really cool gun, and I like it. But it's just not my style due to the fact that it's really low damage compared to even the Bighorn has higher damage, and I'd rather use a Police M4 than use the Chameleon. But maybe in this new update, since it's been buffed, I might take a look at it again and maybe potentially use it on a build. They did add a new thing to it, which is the buffs refresh when out of combat. So when you have all these buffs, they will refresh when you're not fighting anyone anymore. Bullet King, which I know a lot of people were asking about. Damage increased by 2.6%. Nemesis, damage increased by 11%. The Liberty added new functionality, which is new. Hits grants 2% weapon damage, stacking up to 30. Headshot consumes all stacks, repairing your shield for 3 per stack. The Regulus, which is the new pistol, increased initial bullet accuracy. Changed Regulus third attribute bonus from damage to armor to headshot damage, which I'm kind of not surprised that they did this because I could see the damaged armor being a problem, but it doesn't really bother me. Merciless and Ruthless, damage increased by 12.5%. Added functionality to provide extra non-explosive damage as well. Full talent is now, this weapon fires on a trigger pull and release. If both bullets hit the same enemy, gain a stack, this is the new. At 7 stacks, shooting enemy deals new 900% amplified damage and creates a 7-meter explosion, dealing 1200% weapon damage, consuming the stack. Diamondback increased by 7.7%. Text updated to clarify a new target is marked until after the 5-second buff. Lullaby and Sweet Dreams, damage increased by 11%. Lady Death, damage increased by 18.9%, which I know a lot of people are happy about, or going to be, but due to the magazine capacity, I'm really happy they did increase the damage on this. Chatterbox, 16.7%. Next is going to be the Ninja Bike Messenger knee pads. Add a functionality to add bonus armor. Full talent is now performing a cover-to-cover or vaulting roll as your drawn weapon and grants 25% bonus armor. So I could see this being used a lot more now that they added that feature. Next is going to be the Dodge City Gunslinger holster. Add a functionality that makes your hit do headshot damage. Full talent is now when your pistol is holstered, gain stacking buff every 0.3 seconds to 100. When you stop to your first shot, consumes the buff, deals 10% damage per stack, and new, this deals headshot damage to anywhere you hit, which is really crazy. BTSU Gloves, change functionality to no longer grant group raid members overcharge unless you are skill tier 6, which I know that's going to make a lot of people mad. Add a functionality to provide Hive skill haste. Full talent is now new, grants 15% Hive skill haste per skill tier. Change, detonating a Hive refreshes your skill cooldown and grants overcharge for 15 seconds if at skill tier 6. This effect also applies to all allies. So I know people who are going to be mad about the skill tier 6 thing, so You no longer can just proc overcharge with those, you know, by looks, you have to have the max skill tier. Certain E-pads added functionality to continue to provide damage bonus move for a short duration. Full count is now cannot be staggered. Increase total up damage by 3% each shot you are not moving. Stacks up until 10 you start moving. All stacks lost 10 seconds after moving, which is really nice. Because when you move just a little bit, it goes away, which I'm glad they changed that. Changed Mantis' third attribute bonus from critical hit chance to damage to target self-cover. The Ravenous, which is the new rifle. Same goes with the Mantis, is the new marksman rifle, if you guys are wondering. When an enemy's defense primer stacks on them is killed, you now gain the benefit of those stacks without needing to detonate them first. Talents, chest talent, which is Headhunter. Buff icon now shows how close the damage cap you are at. Now properly caps damage your current weapon when you swap. Damage cap is loaded with new functionality. After killing an enemy with a headshot, your next hit weapon hit deals 30 seconds, deals 125% of that killing blow damage, which we already knew. Damage is capped to 800% of your weapon damage. New. This is raised to 1250, lowered from 1500 if your headshot damage is greater than 150%. Next up is Future Perfect. Fix issues with overcharge, lasting indefinitely when you weapon swap. It is intended for the buff to remain when weapon swapping, just not indefinitely. Perfect version of mechanic animal numbers adjusted. Weapon kills grant 1 skill tier for 19 seconds from 18 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. Weapon kills at skill tier 6 grant overcharge for 15 seconds. Overcharge cooldown from 90 seconds to 80 seconds. Now to the gear sets, which I know a lot of you guys are asking about. This is Negotiator's Dilemma. Damage value transferred to players was not skilled correctly. Previously transferred damage when higher than the initial damage of the original target took. Damage transfers in the initial bullet that marks a target. Fix some UI feedback bugs. Adds a 15-minute or 15-meter range cap for damage transfers while in PvP. Foundry Bulwark, which was the main one I'm happy that's being fixed, or they just didn't have something turned on. Healing offset in PvP was not skilled correctly. Should now be aligned with damage taken. If you guys have not seen some of the footage, I recommend checking out my friend Coldboy's video on it. It is literally, at least it was, stupid, and you literally were basically in God mode. Feature initiative, backpack and chest armor now have utility gear mod slot instead of defensive. Increase 2-piece repair skill bonus from 15% to 30%. Increase 3% skill duration bonus from 15 to 30%. So just seeing this alone right here, this 2-piece, is going to be crazy. I could see this being the new go-to healer build when people are going to be making this. Hardwired increases 3-piece repair skill bonus from 15% to 30%. Aces and Eights. This is going to be 3-piece headshot damage bonus is now additive rather than multiplicative. Increase 3-piece headshot damage bonus from 20% to 30%. Now some of the brand sets. Increase 1-piece repair skill bonus from 15% to 20%. Murakami is now 2-piece repair skill bonus goes from 15 to 20. Richter and Kaiser is 3-piece repair skill bonus from 15 to 20. 1-piece Providence headshot damage bonus from 10% to 15, which makes me pretty happy because I run Providence a lot. Raleig's Holdings increase 2-piece headshot damage bonus from 10 to 15. And Sombra 3-piece headshot damage bonus is now 10 to 15%. Skills, Reinforcer Chem Launcher UI has been updated to clarify the initial heal only affects allies and not skill users. The functionality has not changed. Balance, talents, efficient reduced specialization armor kit bonus from 100% to 50, which I know a lot of people run, versatile, but this is like the main thing I see in the DZ at the moment, and I'm really not surprised that they did change this to the fact people are running around with straight up gunner or firewall just using this. I'm not going to complain about it because usually me and my guys just fight it out and kill the people, but overall I could see why this did get changed. Versatile, which this is a big one too at the moment, reduce the amplified damage from bonus from SMGs and shotguns from 35 to 25%. This one doesn't really bother me that much because I usually tend to use a rifle and an AR, but I could see this being changed to the fact in the DZ, a lot of people started running shotguns now. I'm not sure where it came from, but it's probably was posted somewhere out there on the internet, and that's kind of where it got pulled in from. Skills, increase striker drone damage by 10%, assault turret damage by 20%, and stinger hive damage by 75%, which originally, I thought they changed something about the bleed on this, which I'm not sure. I thought it originally was they decreased it by 75%, but it appears it's been increased. PvE, increase NPC resistance to stats effects. You guys can read all these if you want. Hunter's space resistance now 40%. Previously, it was 25%. So basically, it's just the resistance to status effects on the NPCs. Loot item power, updated item power distribution to have better spread between minimum and maximum for all difficulties. Increase minimum roll item power for field proficiency, DZ caches, clan caches, and season caches. Difficulty scaling, regular loot from loot containers on missions now scaled mission difficulty, which I'm really happy they changed this because I'm really getting tired of getting purples in heroic missions and challengings. Target loot from loot containers and missions now scaled mission difficulty. Warlords New York brands now can also show up in target loot in DC, including Dark Zones. No issue on PTS for Lords. Tier 5 players, not all target loot pools may be available at the same time. So I'm really happy about this because I'm tired of going to New York to farm for Sombra or Seska or all those new sets. And they're just up there. So I'm happy that they did put these in the DZ and normal missions. So now if you want to farm for Sombra piece or God Roll piece of it, you can just now farm a normal mission. Crafting, increased minimum and maximum crafting results, added a weighted crafting result to have better spread between minimum and max rolls. Remove the final world tier 5 crafting bench upgrade, and its power to increase is now redundant. Here's some of the bug fixes if you guys were curious about these. But overall, that's pretty much it. It's not a lot like the phase 1, if you guys remember. There's a decent amount, but not as much. But I'm really happy that they did change a few things in here, and this is phase 2, so hopefully they get everything fixed when this is done, and then we'll be able to see the TU10 released, and then after that, then the Operation Iron Horse raid. Overall, that's me about it, guys. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you subscribe for more Division 2 content, and I'll catch you guys all later.
PTS!